Hello, folks. Welcome back to day one of Bossa Nova Guitar for beginners. Welcome. C.R. Marshall in Wisconsin says, on time tonight. Glad you caught it and made it. Pause for dinner is served. Well, you can leave it going and you can have some nice Bossa Nova in the background for your dinner. So, welcome everybody. Type in the chat who's here, where you are, where you're at. And thanks for joining me on this beginner lesson on playing Bossa Nova guitar. I did pass out some handouts. Again, I do have to say this, that I've been missing doing my workshops. I used to do a lot of online classes and workshops. So lately I've been doing them live streams for free. So if you do like it, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. You can even do a super tip. You could tip if you feel like it. I appreciate that as well. And definitely join Patreon. That's my online music community. And I hope that you do that and be a part of the community. So thanks for joining me. Lately, the last two live streams have been on, the one yesterday was on 3-note shell voicings. I'm actually going to do a follow-up on that and just do some practicing on some various songs. And then the one before that was on grip shapes. So that's all going to help you. You're going to want to review those two if you don't have your chords on, your basic chords. But so today we'll look at a couple songs that are common to the Bossa Nova style. Spiral, aloha, welcome. Yukon, glad you can make it. David, welcome. Peter Cottontail, huh? Bossa? Okay. I did get that reference. Speaking of Cottontail, that's a good song. But that's a swing tune. So what we're going to do today is Joe Beam. Black Orpheus is Louis Bonfa. So, but Joe Beam is really the primary focus, just like if you play gypsy jazz, Django's the primary focus. So Joe Beam tunes. So let's go ahead and get started here. Hopefully you've got your nylon string guitar. Graham, welcome. Tom, I'm loving seeing all the names that now I know all of you. Many of you are on Patreon, of course, and many of you are Diamond Tier members. So I actually get to work with you one-on-one. Yes, I do have coffee in this, if you're wondering. But don't worry, I'm not too jazzed up yet. Bossa, you got to mellow out a little bit. Do you guys want to go through the grip chord routine? 3-note shapes, 4-note shapes? Let me know. I'm happy to review to warm you up. Or we could just dive right into some comping rhythms and comping patterns and some right hand techniques for finger picking. I did post a few things in the link in the description. It's all for free, and you can grab it for educational purposes. But again, if you want to join Patreon, that would be awesome, because I have over 4,600 Patreon exclusive posts and lessons and materials, tabs, sound slice, practice videos, bonus videos. Now the coffee's kicking in. Ukulele, yeah, Spiral, I've got good news for you. I'm actually going to be starting up a separate channel just for ukulele, Jazz Uke. And I would advise you to join it and also join that Patreon just for the ukulele. So that'll be rolling out probably April 1st, and no fooling. Yeah. And it's going to cover everything that I like to talk about for my ukulele lessons and play, from gypsy jazz to swing to Bossa Nova to just some basic stuff as well. Improvisation and jamming. So great, Yukon. Thanks for joining. Of course, I know you're a member. All right, well then let's go ahead and get started. If hopefully you're all in tune. Graham says, what about I thought about you for shells? Well, okay, yeah, that'll be a follow-up for the shell voicings. Today's Bossa Nova, though, we're going to pretty much stick to the Bossa stylings for this lesson today. So, but thanks for asking about that. We'll do that on the follow-up. I thought about you is a great tune. All right. Any other comments, questions? You guys want to hit it? Grip chord routine. Ready? Today, I'm going to name chords. I want you to play them. B flat major 7. Oh, I've got my guitar without dots today. You're going to be challenged. But again, you could choose your 6th string or the 5th string root. That's what I always recommend. That was a question yesterday. When do you know what string to choose for your roots for grip chords? And I was saying, well, if it's down here, it's kind of low and muddy. If you want it low and muddy, if you want it kind of brighter, then you have to choose where do you want it. Sometimes I don't like to use the open strings. But again, sometimes I love to use open strings, especially in Bossa Nova. But today I'm going to talk about a really basic level, as if you just want to jump in and read through the fake book, playing Bossa Nova tunes, Corcovado, Girl From Ipanema, Meditation, How Insensitive. These are all the classic songs, Black Orpheus. I have sound slice practice videos. I'll probably load up a few. And if you choose a couple, if you want to choose and type in the comments anything from that repertoire, please feel free to do so. Of course, you can play Bossa Nova anything. You can bossa out any tune. You can play Bossa, Fly Me to the Moon. Fly me to the moon. And I am doing some ninth chords and some fancier chords there just as a quick demo. But today, again, we'll be on a really basic level, combining the elements that we've been focusing on in the last 2 live streams, 3-note shell voicings and the 4-note grip chord shapes on the 6th and the 5th string roots. But today our focus will be on right hand technique, playing bossa rhythms. If any of you have purchased any like Bossa Nova songbooks, you probably noticed that a lot of it's written in 2/4 time signature, but I like to write everything out in 4/4. That way you don't have any 16th notes to worry about. You just read 8th notes. So we'll talk about that in a minute. By the way, yeah, thank you for liking the videos. Appreciate it. And let's go ahead and get started and do some more grip chords. I'm just going to go through them all. A minor 7 flat 5. Okay. And D7, you have 2 options. I often do this. I call this the swing shape, but I love it for any style. It doesn't have to be swing music. And this is D7 grip shapes. Okay, your choice. G major 7, G major 6, G minor 6, B flat minor 6, A sharp diminished 7, C major 7. Right now I'm just staying all on the 6th string root, if you didn't notice. So that's kind of, again, what ties into the last 2 lessons. I say master your 6 string notes. So if I said a letter name, F sharp, you say 2. If I say B, you say 7. If I say E flat, you say what? Good, 11. Okay, so let's keep doing this, practicing. E flat 7. That's my 11th fret. So use your eyes, but also use your ears. And make sure you know your notes. Type in the chat if you're how you are with your notes. B flat minor 7 flat 5. And you got to be careful sometimes. You know, the word minor or the word flat. You have to really just make sure you get the root note first and then the quality of the chord. And again, as I stated yesterday and the live stream before, quality does not mean good or bad. It means what kind of chord. Major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, diminished 7, minor 7 flat 5, etc. G sharp minor 7 flat 5. Okay. Make sure you can see my fretboard here fully. Okay, we're almost done with the 6th string practice. How about C7? Okay, G sharp diminished 7. These are 4-note grip chord shapes, not the 3-note that we did yesterday, the shell voicings. What else do we have for you? B flat minor 6. Great. Let's do a couple more here. F major 7. These are 6 string roots, okay, just for practice. Let's see, what else do we got for you? D flat minor 7 flat 5. D flat minor 7 flat 5. So the first thing I do is find D flat. That's 9. And I get the shape, okay? How you guys doing on this? I can't really see your hands, unfortunately. You know, if we were in person, I can kind of walk around and help you. But you tell me, how are you? Do you have your bass notes? Do you have your shell voicings? Or not, I shouldn't say shell. Do you have your grip chord voicings? 3-note shapes are fabulous for Bossa Nova. Taking notes, literally or figuratively? Taking notes is good, but I want you to practice with me. That's what these sessions are about. And I'm going to just keep pumping them out. So keep your eyes open and make sure you like and subscribe and whatnot. Okay, let's cruise through this. 5th string roots. Ready? D6. Okay, that's a big one. D minor 6. Again, go through the practice routine that I've been doing for the last 2 live streams. The shapes. That's what this is building. They're building on. However, we do have, if you check out the free PDF that's attached, I make sure you get that before it's gone, because sometimes I take it away. But these are for the live stream. D6, D minor 6. Those are my hacks for the 6. If you don't want to do this big stretch. Minor 6. A lot of people don't like these shapes because they're too big of a spread. So then that's when I do this little hack here and do D6 like this. But we're omitting the 5th degree, and that's okay. Minor 6. Okay. D dim 7. D major 7. D sharp dim 7. Again, don't look at me here. Well, you can look at me if you want, but make sure you think, when I say D sharp, you say 6. You know your root note, and then you know the shape, the grip shapes. Yeah, Tom, was I talking to you about that the other day? In my diamond tier lesson about the span, the stretches. So be careful. Don't hurt yourself on these big stretches, especially the 6. My elbow is pretty far down. My hand is not doing this. It's straight, so I can get a nice big stretch. Beautiful chords. These are just the basic chords, the grip chords. From there, we can alter them. We can extend them. We can do minor and major 7s. We can do 6 9s, all that good stuff, flat 9s, sharp 9s. But right now, for this lesson today, we'll stick basic, even though I did add a couple extra bonus PDFs that's attached in the description, so you can kind of take a look at what Tracy would do. I like minor 9s for how insensitive, or sometimes minor 6 to dim 7, fancy it up a little bit. So I definitely have some that I included just to show you what I like to do. A couple more. Work you on the 5th string roots. B7. E minor 7. My cat wants to say hello. Oh. That's what cats like to do. Destroy things. D flat minor 7 flat 5. Okay. D flat minor 7 flat 5. That's also C sharp. Okay. F minor 7. F sharp dim 7. And G major 7. And G major 6. Always practice major 7 to major 6. G minor 7. G minor 6. E diminished 7. Okay, you guys are doing good. Good job keeping up. C sharp dim 7. No, I can't really hear you. I'm just giving you positive reinforcement. C dim 7. Okay. B7 flat 9. See, that's reduction. I don't know B7 flat 9. So what do? B7. Yeah, I really do know B7 flat 9. But again, what I was teaching the other day is you see B7 flat 9 on the chart, you don't worry about that. You just do B7. B7 sharp 5, same thing. You're going to get by just fine playing these standards in Bossa Nova tunes. Sure, you might not bring on the specific color, but that's okay. So we'll look at that with Girl From Ipanema, for example, because you're going to see a chord that says G flat 7 flat 5, but you might be like, I don't know that one. Then just play G flat 7. That's totally fine. It's in the melody anyways, often, so you don't need to worry about it because the singer's going to be playing the flat 5 or singing it. How are you guys doing on the 5th string roots? Type in the chat. That's good, Tom. Spiral, good. You are doing it with me. Yeah, again, as much as I do recommend taking notes, these sessions are really geared toward, I'm treating it like my workshop in classes. Everybody has their instrument and they are actively participating, not just watching, not just taking notes. Unless you're eating dinner, of course, then go ahead and take notes and just listen. But really, if you're reviewing these later after the live stream, then I want you to practice. Okay. So that's great. Those are your grip chord shapes. And from there, again, it's not very hard, as I'll demonstrate, and I've demonstrated. I've got many hundreds of video lessons on Patreon, and on YouTube for that matter too. But the longer form videos are all on Patreon. You'll learn all these little cliches to practice and all these different chord voicings, from the minor, major 7, minor 7, minor 6, to the 7th chord, flat 9, natural 9, sharp 9, third. All these little tricks to help you to the 7, to the 7 flat 5, to the sharp 5, to the 13. These are all just great for practicing and learning these tunes. Oh, Joel, 5th strings are your jam, huh? The 4th string roots. Oh, that's a good one too. 4th strings are awesome for chord melody, especially, again, it'll help your ukulele playing if you're a uke player, because that's what it's all about. So you want to do that. And I didn't do the 4th string roots. We're not going to do them today, but I do have videos just going through these 4th string shapes. I just did them, but don't worry about it right now. Going through the routine, but it's all on Patreon and on my Sound Slice practice videos. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and talk. Oh, Harry, congrats on joining. I appreciate you. I'm trying to read your comment here about Patreon. New silver subscriber on Patreon. I was wondering if your any tier included YouTube membership. Oh, well, see, no, that the YouTube membership is only videos, just so you know. So if you guys who do not want to join, it's kind of for the folks who don't want to join Patreon, then you could just join YouTube membership, and that gets you access to my video lessons. But it doesn't have near YouTube videos. I think I have maybe about, I don't even want to guess right now. I don't want to be, I don't want to give you false information. But Patreon at the platinum tier you have access to every single video I put out. And then you have access to all of my tabs, Sound Slice practice videos. So I would just say just join the Patreon at the platinum tier, upgrade to that, and then you have access to everything. And then if you want a private lesson, it would be the diamond tier, which currently I'm sold out of that, but I'll probably open up a few slots soon. So that's my recommendation. Again, if you don't want to join Patreon, join YouTube membership, and then you can have access to my video lessons. But unfortunately, there's no PDFs or tabs attached. You could just watch the videos over and over. So that's my recommendation. Thanks, Harry. Feel free to type in the chat if you have any other comments. Actually, I do see oh, wow, there's some other comments I might have missed. Jeffrey, welcome. CRM, I'm trying to figure out who you are. You're going to 6th and the 5th string needs a little work. Okay, yeah. Keep doing that. Just make sure again that you know your notes. That's what we're going to do. Is we're going to look at charts. You see Black Orpheus. This is A, B, E, A, D, G, C. A, B, E, A, D, G, C, C sharp, D, G, C, F, B, E, A. Again, I always say this to my students, and when we practice in the practice room, step 1, be a bass player. I don't care if they know their chords or not yet. You got to if you don't have your bass line mapped out for just playing, accompaniment, if you don't have the right bass notes, then having the correct chord quality does not even matter. Okay, so step 1, master the bass notes, 6th and the 5th string. Step 2, which should be practiced in tandem, is to practice those grip chord routine. And it's definitely a routine. Major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, flat 5, dim 7, major 6, minor 6, 5th string group, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, flat 5. You can slow this down. Dim 7, major 6, and minor 6, 4th string roots. Just go through the routine so that your fingers will know that. But then you piece those two together, the bass line and the chord quality. Then you can comp through any of these jazz standards, including bossa novas. And then, of course, we want to start to add colors. That's where Harry was asking about 11s, 9s, 6 9s, minor major 7s, sharp 5s, sharp 11s, everything like that. But those are just altered chords to me, or extensions from the basics, you know. And so that's all it is. So if just to show you an example, if we take G7 like this, well, here's a fifth on guitar. We replace the fifth with a 6, and now it's called G13. Okay, G7 sharp 5 or flat 13, G7 flat 5, or it could be called sharp 11, really. D9 with a sharp 11. Okay, so now that was, but first you gotta know, well, how do I get D9? We take this D7, we take the octave, the 8, and we go up a whole step to the 9, and then we take this note, the 5th, and we flat it, so it's a D9 flat 5, or sharp 11. It can have two names, but we actually want that. I added the flat 9 there. We want to have those beautiful colors. She looks straight ahead, not at me. And then we want these 6/9 voicings. And the ninth chords, minor 9s. So for bossa, we want to get into those extensions. But at first, you got to learn the very, very basics. Harry, I'm reading some comments here. Oh, CR. Okay, sorry, I didn't catch that. CRM 1492. I struggle with the major 7 on the 4-string root, with the ring finger covering the bottom 3. Yeah, that's a good question, especially if you're a uke player. A lot of uke players don't do this, covering the bottom 3 here on F major 7. Just do this. It's a big stretch down here, so again, get your wrist low. Here's the routine. Why not? F major 7, F dominant 7, F minor 7, F minor 7 flat 5, F dim 7, F major 6, F minor 6. Okay, that's what's important right now, is that you master the 5 types of 7th chords and the 2 types of 6 chords. That will get you through all of the jazz standards, but in mind with chord reduction, to learn to reduce it and not to worry necessarily about bass lines, as we talked about yesterday. Darvin, my Patreon member, Diamond Tier, requested, hey, let's take a look at No More Blues. And I was like, oh, you got me on that one. That's a good question, because it did have a bass line inversion. And bass lines are beautiful. Again, that's a separate talk, but I love to talk about songs where we do have to walk that bass line down. So that's where I recommend tunes such as Black Orpheus is one of them, actually. While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Maybe Georgia on My Mind. You'll see some descending bass line movements. That's kind of built in and really a beautiful part of the song. But if you have a bass player, then you don't have to worry about it necessarily as a guitar player. You can just play the regular chord. Feel free to keep typing in the comments here. I'm happy to answer any questions. Our focus today is Bossa Nova Guitar, however, so I'm starting you off with just the basic grip chords. I did include a few PDFs today, so I recommend that you grab them while they're still available on the YouTube link. All right, so what I'm going to share with you is I'm going to talk a little bit about comping, okay? Right-hand comping. I might get kind of up close here and personal with you. So this is how I do it usually. So I'm going to show you kind of some basic patterns here. The thing is that I mentioned is that I like to think either 6-string root or the 5th-string root, these grip shapes, right? So I'm going to take an A minor 7. Generally, you're going to hear the bass. This is being pretty general about this, and I'm thinking of everything in 4/4, not in 2/4, just so you know, not in duple time. So this would be counted as 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and I'm just playing A minor 7, by the way. 1, 2, 3, and. So the bass is on 1 and 3, and on these 3 fingers are plucking 4, 3, 2 strings, this portion of it, which is just a C triad if you want to be theoretical. It is plucking them simultaneously. So do that with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. A minor 6. A minor 7. A minor 6. Sometimes, and I notice this, sometimes I like to, and you'll hear this often, I like to simultaneously hit the chord and the bass like this. So, but sometimes I like to break it up, bass chord. But the thing is, the bass is always on 1 and 3. G sharp tip 7. G minor 7. C7. F major 7. That's kind of the first 8 bars of Corcovado. One, two, three, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. And I'm not saying 4, but I'm feeling 4. 4 is just tied over. This is example number 1 on the Bossa worksheet. I'll show that to you via sound slice. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice I went to A minor 6 just to create some voice leading. Cool chord alert. Move this first finger down, 1 more fret. It's going to be a big stretch, so get your hand a little bit lower so you don't hurt yourself. That's now A minor with the flat 6. And then back to A minor 6. It's a nice vamp you can do. And this is, by the way, an inversion of F major 7 with the 3rd in the bass. That's why I always say a major 7 chord with a 3rd in the bass sounds dark. It almost sounds more like a minor. And in this context, you can hear it. If you want one more, you'd be down on A minor. Okay. So let me go ahead and load up here that share screen, like I said, of the comping worksheet, which I hope you already grabbed. This is my sound slice practice video of it, and it's comping Bossa Samba comping worksheet. And I have it both in sound slice practice mode and just the PDF that you'll see on the paper if you grab it. I just put it into sound slice here for you. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. So I wrote it out as a 2-bar pattern, even though it's just 1 bar repeated twice. So think about that. I wrote it out as if it's a 2-bar pattern, 2 measures, even though it just repeats the same measure twice. The count is 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and just repeats. Again, on a G major 7 chord, G6, G minor 7, G minor 6, G minor 6 is often a sub for C9. When you dive deeper into Bossa Nova, you're gonna see a lot of subs. A lot of times, the guitarist will be playing with the roots in the 6th string, and it's kind of an implied chord. That C9 is like G minor 6. Okay, but right now we're gonna be more face value. So that's comping pattern number 1, and it's just a 1-bar pattern. It's really nice. I'm gonna get out of the screen share mode here. I'll come back to it. So again, just to show you comping pattern number 1 with the Girl from Ipanema. Focus more on my right hand, not my left hand. Don't worry about these chords. We'll talk about the grips in a second, even though I was adding the flat 5 for that flavor. Focus on my right hand. As a matter of fact, just so you can't see my my left hand. Again, I want you to get this comping pattern down. Because I'm going to fancy up the chords. 1, 2, 3 and 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 again 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2. Notice all these chords. I'm just staying on the 6th string. The A section for Girl From Ipanema is perfect for this. Well, I went to the 5th string right there. So again, that's what we want to start to do, is to move it through and play through these songs with these different patterns. So maybe we should take a look at the most popular bossa nova song ever written. From Ipanema. If you're working on my sound slice, you'll see I hit it, but you'll see the melody, you'll see tabs, but I just, you'll see this. You'll see the melody and the tabs if you want to play the melody, but I'm just going to hide it because we don't need to worry about that. But again, if you're new to Patreon, just go to my sound slice practice videos. I really feel like these are the best way to practice, because then you could turn on the click track and play along with the recording, or well, in this case, just the computer. Sometimes I'll have it synced to the video of the song, or even with me. When she walks, she's like a samba, sways so cool and swings so gentle. And when 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and oh, and then we could take it through the whole song. It's nice to play along with that so you can practice your comping. And yeah, there's a G flat 7 flat 5 chord that's kind of nice in this song. That I do want you to get down. If you want to include that, I'll include it. Well, actually, so again, these are the sound slice practice videos. If that's new for you, that's what you'll be seeing. I've got a lot of, well, pretty much every song that I play in my own gigs is in the sound slice practice video on Patreon. It's for you to practice also. Again, I think this is trying to create a great practice community where this is where I go for my practicing and for my teaching. It's great to just pop up on the screen when we work in private lessons too. So again, with this comping pattern, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and then now, I mean, let's try the A section. This is what I would recommend. 1, 2, 3 and 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 that's just taking comping pattern number 1 that 1-bar pattern and working it through the progression. So we have F major 7, G7, G minor 7, and this really beautiful chord that Joe Beam used a lot, Django used it too. G flat 7, flat 5. Tritone sub for the C7. Tritone. And then back to F major 7. So that's pattern number 1. Again, if you just want to watch, I'm just showing you the demonstration here, both number 1 with the Girl from Ipanema chords. Notice I'm striking the chord and the bass at the same time. Oh, there I changed it to number 2. So let's talk about pattern number 2 here. I'm just going to kind of get through this here to get you guys started on the bossa style. I don't expect this to be exactly like a lesson where I would probably just focus only on this stuff with you. But I'm covering a lot of ground today just to get you guys going. Number 2 is just like number 1, except we add an 8th note on the and of 4. And that's very special because you can anticipate the next chord if you want to be early to make it feel like the rhythm is moving faster. And that's called the harmonic rhythm. If you want a little bit more exciting, you anticipate, okay? So count out number 2 with me here. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 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 1, 2. Let me get off this script here. So again, that pattern, just by adding that 8th note on the and of 4, creates this excitement by anticipating the next chord. And the trick of it is you hit the chord, then you hit the bass on 1. So check it out. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. So right there, I'm already on that G7 formation. And on the and of 4, on measure 2, I'm on the upstroke, the and, the chord part of it, and the upbeat. 1 and 1. So check it out again. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. Those are the anticipations. And 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay, so you're switching the chord on the and of 4. Again, that makes it more exciting. So here it is again. And 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. So again, that I love number 2, that anticipation. I like to mix and match, and it kind of depends on where there's a fill-in, the verse or the melody, the lyric, and I'll change the comping pattern to kind of match and fill in some space and to mix it up. But it's good practice to stick with one comping pattern through the whole song. So let's try a song, just demonstration, Quiet Nights of Quiet Stars, Corcovado. Same pattern. It's okay if you don't know the chords, it's just demonstration. I'll fancy it up in that case, since I'm 3 and 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2. We can make it short, the duration. We can play with the duration. It doesn't always have to be long. but you'll find that it's really nice to hear the chords ring like this. But if you want it a little bit more funky, you can make it short. Let's read some comments here. Tom Cripps, welcome, Tom. I never attempted this one and don't know why. Are you talking about Girl From Ipanema, Tom? And Tom D says 4, and you are playing the next chord or the previous chord. Yes, yes, and yes. I had 2 Toms. It's going to be confusing. Tom C, Tom D. Where's Tommy? Where's Tommy? Yes, this is a great song, by the way. Of course, Girl From Ipanema is the #1 Bossa Nova song. It's the most requested song on my gigs, and my wine bar gigs, or wherever I'm playing restaurants. Absolutely, the Girl From Ipanema is essential. Sometimes I have to play it 2 or 3 times per evening. But if you're a lounge guitar player like me, often gigging 5 nights a week, this song is requested, and you need to learn it. It's the most requested song. So yeah, and I have lots of lessons on the Girl From Ipanema on Patreon. I don't know if Tom C, if you're on Patreon or not, but it sounds like you probably should be. Nails, yeah, I shape my nails so that they're like little picks. They look like, if I were to grab a pick, I like them like picks. I'm not a classical player, so it's not shaped like how a classical player would have them. But you definitely don't want it to snag at the end. You want to round them off a little bit. Oh, I was almost gonna use my middle finger here, but I'll just use my index finger. So again, just. If you want it really bright, you play closer to the bridge. If you want it warmer, hollow, I'm just talking about where to place your right hand. This is super bright. This is warm. You're welcome. One, two, three, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, and. I like to even add arpeggios and stuff, just as a little overview here. Sus. Yeah, be careful demonstrating which fingers I'm using on my right hand. All right, guys, so let's see. What else do we need to do here? Quick demonstration again. I'm going to get to the next rhythm. I'm showing you #1, which is just this. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and. Again, that's G flat 7 with a flat 5. I talked about that earlier. This is a special chord here. You take your G flat 7, and literally you flat the 5th, which is right here. But you got to refinger it. That's the Girl From Ipanema chord that you got to get. Notice that these 2 fingers stay down, the 3 and the 4 respectively. F major 7, G flat 7, flat 5. They just slid. Well, this one did. Keep your eye on this. It's not a magic trick. Check it out. I'll do it slow. I'm showing the tricks. Slide, bass, and just go back and forth. That's tritone sub for the C7. This. Joe Beam really loved tritone sub. Django did too. It creates a chromatic bass line. That's why. So the progression 1, 2 dominant, 2, flat 2, which is the 5, and then 1. Yeah, I do wrap my thumb around it. I demonstrated this for muting purposes, but yeah, in this case, my hand is pretty low in the back here, my thumb. I'm always trying to, as a teacher, I'm always telling my students, keep that space here. Okay, that's how you get a good stretch. So when you do have to. One more example. Again, hopefully you have pattern 1 and pattern 2 down already. Then I'll do the first 8 bars of How Insensitive. Hopefully you know that. How. Number 2, makes it a little bit exciting by adding that anticipation. And 1, 2, 3, 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 and 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 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 and 1, 2. I guess I'm doing the whole song. Beautiful song. So that's How Insensitive with patterns both, number 1 and number 2. Again, I like to mix and match these patterns. Let me show you pattern number 3. I call this the palindrome pattern. Palindrome meaning mom, Bob, dad. What other words? Forwards and backwards, it's the same, right? That's a palindrome. So this pattern number 3 here is a palindrome. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. So that's a quarter, and that's a quarter. If you look backwards and forwards, this should be a repeat here, by the way. And that's quarter, and that's a quarter. And then eighth, 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 eighth. Tied, eighth and eighth. So it's forwards and backwards. There's something magical about this palindrome rhythm. It's counting like this: 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. 1, and it just repeats. It's a 2-bar pattern. Okay. So again, grab this worksheet. This is a free PDF for you. My hard work here is just for you, free. And again, if you like these videos, I appreciate the thumbs up, and join me on Patreon. And hey, there's even a little dollar sign in the chat there. If you feel like tipping, I'm down for that too. I appreciate that. Like I said, I usually offer these as group classes and workshops, but I am just doing live streams these days. So this is the palindrome rhythm. Let's see. Let's go to meditation. I haven't played that song yet for you. But I'm going to show you how to practice it first, and that's just doing the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. And again, I'm showing you with the bass on 1 and 3. Okay, that's very popular and common in this style. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. Jim, you have a question one more time on the beats? What do you mean? I would just say, honestly, you can look at the paper. You know, I don't know how everybody has different sense of reading rhythms. Okay, good. I was going to say, just grab your guitar and do this with me. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 3, 4. And you can sing if you want, or speak the words if you can. This is the hard part. That's why playing bossa and singing at the same time is not easy, because you're keeping these steady patterns. But this song is meditation. If you guys know this song, it's a beautiful Joe Beam tune. Let's see how does it go. unbelievable. And again. One and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 1. Now I'm getting fancy with chords for fun. E minor, A7, D minor 11, G9. And I kicked in pattern 1 there. 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and pattern 3. 1, 2, 3 and a little funkier. You put backbeats on there. I don't want to think too much about it. But again, mix and match. That's kind of what I'm always thinking. I'm not even thinking, just by going by feel. I think it's good to practice each one of these different patterns. But then you're just going to want to mix and match. And I do want to say that I was playing kind of what I call chord melody comping. I usually call that melodic comping, to where you can kind of hear the melody by the choice of my chord voicings. 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 3, 4. 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 Now I'm being a little bit more strict. And 1 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 3, 4. This is pattern number 3, the palindrome. And 1 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 3, 4. And 1 and 3, 4. You just practice. My loneliness in 3. Ba 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 ba. Yes. I love you so. Ba 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 da ba 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 da. So there you go, you guys. That's Bossa Nova Comping 101 right there. Just getting your chords down, getting these finger picking patterns down, and applying it to your favorite Bossa Nova songs. We're not done yet. On Patreon, I have a free book. It's an ebook. It's called Tracy's Favorite Latins, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So if you want to grab that, I would recommend it. It has all the lead sheets all in one book. These are ebooks on Patreon, and it should be at all tier levels too. Well, if you join now, if you haven't joined, they're for educational purposes. It has the tabs: Best Way Mucho, Sway, Black Orpheus. I'm going to demonstrate Black Orpheus because Black Orpheus is that song I was mentioning that has all that bass line movement. So it's kind of a very special song. Again, that's going to the next level of chording. I would recommend that you master your grip chords, the 5/7 chords and the 2/6 chords on the 6th and 5th, and then start to work in some of these special songs. That's Black Orpheus. One, two, three, and 1 and 3. check this out right here. All these little cliches. That's D minor, sharp 5, D minor 6. All these nice little things. D minor slash C, B minor 7 flat 5, E7, A minor 7, A minor slash G, F major 7, B minor 7 flat 5, E7. I'll put the sharp 9 in. Again, please check out my Bossa Nova lesson on Black Orpheus if you want to know these fancy chords. I actually included the PDF if you're like, ooh, I like those chords. Then you'll learn these 9 chords like this. And then notice the anticipation. And 1 and 3 4 1 2 3 and 1 and 3 4. I'll walk the bass for you. Just like a guitar player in a swing band can walk the bass, we could do that too. Descending bass line. There in my room. And this is called the Gypsy Bossa. You'll hear that often. And back to Brazilian style, where you're using your fingers. Get those inversions, and you can mix and match. It's really nice if you want to walk the bass lines. The trick of it is to go root and third, if you're wondering. And I have this shown already on Autumn Leaves, which Autumn Leaves makes use of or Black Orpheus makes use of the Autumn Leaves progression, where you're doing this. Damping with my palm for the strum pattern when I kicked in the Gypsy Bossa Yukon, yes. The 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. A great tune for that style that everybody should learn for Gypsy Bossa is Bossa Dorado. Which, as I was saying yesterday, that progression is based off of No More Blues. It's the first 8 bars. But here it is in Brazilian style with the fingers. Bossa Dorado. Start to color up the chords. And that's one of the beautiful things, playing kind of chord melody while keeping that rhythm going. And again, that's what I call melodic comping. I also call that chord exploration. It's just in case you guys want to check out my bonus video lessons on Patreon, where I say, okay, let's do some chord exploring on Bossa Dorado or Cheek to Cheek or whatever song, whatever standard. It's really fun to explore those chords and play kind of chord melody-ish style. So yeah, that's called the Gypsy Bossa style again, where you're doing with the backbeat on 2 and 4. Here it is with finger style. So, you can do a hybrid. I mean, everything is kind of just fused together in today's guitar stylings. But it's nice to go back to the bossa nova style, the traditional Brazilian style. Fuse it with some gypsy jazz and use your pick or your hybrid picking for that matter. I think it's all really fun. You're going to have your own sound, your own style, your own approach of many of these great songs. And again, you can take any of your favorite standards and put a bossa beat to it. The bossa nova craze from the late 50s and 60s, right? Is you bossed out everything. But that's beautiful. It's a really beautiful guitar style. So I hope this workshop today, I call it a workshop, this live stream, helped you get comping patterns number 1, number 2, and number 3, what I feel are the most important, demonstrating the right hand technique, those grip chord voicings, and just learn to adapt and make sure you get the right bass notes and get the feel. Count if you need to. So thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate you joining in today on this live stream on Bossa Nova. Let me know. Next time, I'm thinking of expanding a little bit more on those 3-note shell voicings, kind of, again, making it like a workshop and going through some my favorite standards to play. Whether it's, well, I think there is a request earlier and songs that I don't play often. I Thought About You was a nice song. We could do ballad. We can do Like Someone in Love. We can do whatever. I'm happy to go over anything. Lulu's Back in Town. 3-note shapes is great for that song. Lulu's back in town. Ain't Misbehaving. Want to talk with, I'm all by myself. Want to walk with, I'm happy on the shelf. Misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. Again, I'm just previewing what I like to do next time, which is go back to some 3-note voicings, but we could also do that with Bossa Nova. 3-note voicings are, again, like I mentioned last live stream, they're perfect for the beginner jazz guitar player or for the professional jazz guitar player to use for comping, because you are simplifying, and simplifying is always important. So remember that. All right. Well, hey, thanks again for tuning in. And we'll see you all next time. Cheers.